Why we compare ourselves to others and how to stop comparison is one of the oldest habits of human nature. From the moment we begin school, we notice who is taller, faster, smarter, or more popular. In adulthood, the comparisons only grow stronger. Who has more money, a better job, a happier relationship, or a more exciting life? Social media has made this tendency even worse. With one swipe, we see endless images of success, beauty, and wealth. It feels impossible not to compare ourselves. But why do we do it, and how can we finally stop? At its root, comparison comes from survival. Our ancestors needed to know where they stood within the group. If someone was stronger or more skilled, it meant they had a better chance of survival. Measuring ourselves against others was once a useful tool. It helped us adapt and improve. But in the modern world, where survival is not decided by hunting skills or physical strength, comparison has transformed into something far more damaging. The problem is that comparison rarely shows the full truth. What we see is only the surface. A colleague may look confident and successful, but we don't see their late nights, their self-doubt, or their struggles at home. On social media, people carefully choose the highlights of their lives, the best moments, the best photos, the best achievements. When we compare ourselves to this filtered reality, we always come up short. It is like comparing your behind the scenes with someone else's highlight reel. Psychologists call this social comparison theory. It means we evaluate ourselves by looking at others. Sometimes this can motivate us. Seeing someone achieve something great can inspire us to believe it's possible, but most of the time, it works in the opposite way. Instead of motivation, we feel envy, jealousy, and insecurity. Instead of growing, we feel stuck. So why does comparison hurt so much? Because it focuses on lack. When you compare yourself to someone richer, you focus on your financial struggles. When you compare yourself to someone more attractive, you notice your insecurities. The brain becomes trained to see what you don't have, instead of appreciating what you already do. Over time, this constant comparison eats away at self-worth, creating a cycle of dissatisfaction that never ends. The truth is, there will always be someone better at something. Someone will always be richer, smarter, fitter, or more talented. If happiness depends on being the best, you will never be satisfied. The game of comparison has no finish line. So how do we stop? The first step is awareness. Notice when you are comparing yourself. Pay attention to the moments when you scroll through social media or look at a friend's achievements and suddenly feel smaller. That moment of awareness gives you the power to choose a different response instead of falling into the trap. The second step is to shift your focus inward. Ask yourself, what do I really want? Often we compare ourselves to goals that are not even ours. Maybe your friend bought a luxury car. Do you really want that? Or do you just want to feel successful? When you define your own values and goals, comparison loses much of its power. Success is not universal. It is personal. Gratitude is another powerful antidote. When you feel the urge to compare, pause and list 3 things you are grateful for in your own life. Gratitude changes the brain's focus from lack to abundance. Instead of thinking about what you don't have, you begin to see what you do have. This small shift builds contentment and peace. Limiting exposure to triggers is also important. If scrolling through social media constantly makes you feel worse, take breaks or unfollow accounts that spark comparison. Your mental health is more valuable than staying updated on every detail of someone else's life. Finally, celebrate progress, not perfection. Instead of asking, am I as successful as them? Ask, am I more successful than I was yesterday? Growth is personal. If you are improving even a little, you are moving forward. Life is not a race against others. It is a journey of becoming your best self. Comparison will never fully disappear. It is wired into us. But we can learn to control it instead of letting it control us. We can use it as inspiration when it motivates us, and we can let it go when it only brings pain. Remember this: the only person you should compare yourself to is the version of you from yesterday. Because in the end, your worth is not defined by what others achieve. It is defined by your own path, your own growth, and your own story.